Yo, 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 we back, we back, we back. I'm all nice and showered and changed and refreshed. What is up? What is up, my friends? How you doing? How you doing, my friends? Yeah, something's going on with my Twitch. You know, I think I might have a tooth fairy. I think I have a tooth fairy on my Twitch. Somebody curating my content. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Well, thank you, whoever you are, for keeping my Twitch safe. Thank you. It's good to have support. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, let me just gotta pop out these chats. There we go. I think that's fine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, chat? How you doing? Hi. How you doing? Welcome back. I had my workout earlier. If you guys were here earlier, I restarted the stream. I took a shower. We did a 30-minute workout. I did stair climbing. So I already got my daily workout out in. WSP? What does that even mean? Tammy, you're crazy. Diddy Kong? Diddy Kong Racing? Is that what you guys are talking about? Donkey Kong Country? Good, and you? I'm doing fine. How are you? How's the weather up there? Are you okay? Yes, yes. I'm just trying to get through yet another day. Just trying to focus on the here and now. We're going to be doing some drawing again. I'm taking a little... It seems like I'm taking a little bit of a break from World of Warcraft. I'm giving it a little bit of time. Oh, what's up means what's up. See, I'm learning the lingo. Gen Z and Gen Alpha lingo. Because I'm hip. I'm hip. God damn, I sound like an old lady, don't I? I'm a grandma. No, I'm not. I'm an aunt. Hormiga. No, yeah, I'm like an auntie. Hey, I'm in the MILF range. The best one to be in. You good, baddie? Yeah, what's up, what's up? That's what's up, that's what's up. I'm just trying to gain my bearings. Yeah. Yeah, I got the thing where you like, you got the thing in your ear where it's like you can hear yourself and you're like, Are you a late Gen Zer? No, I'm a millennial. I'm 38 years old. I grew up with Pogs and Saturday morning cartoons where they showed X-Men. And I remember when X-Men Evolution came out. It was amazing. Like Rocco's Modern Life, Doug, Rugrats. Ah, Real Monsters. I never really watched that one though. I watched. Actually, I didn't have cable as a kid, so I got to see all the shows that were like on like more like not public broadcasting, but like you know, stuff I could pick up with an antenna. I'm 38, and so like I watched like Sailor Moon after school, and then Pokemon, and then Aladdin and Gargoyles. I think that was the order. I don't remember what the order after school was. You don't look that age? Well, who really does look their age? Have you seen LeVar Burton? He's 69. I think he dyes his beard white to look older. That guy is so young looking. LeVar Burton, you know, from Reading Rainbow, and Geordie LaForge from The Next Generation from Star Trek. LeVar Burton? That guy looks like he's like 40. like I think he dyes his beard white to look older. Like he's aged very gracefully. And you know, it's inspiration. People, men and women. I like looking at people who have aged healthy and gracefully. And it looks different for different people. Some people might say somebody looks old, but I say they look healthy. Because some people look old, quote unquote, but they're actually like really healthy. Like they like ride their bike every day. They're like working out, like lifting weights. Like look at Chuck Norris. Like that guy's still working out. You never heard of LeVar Burton? From Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow. That was another thing I grew up with. Unemployed, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I'm technically employed, but I'm also receiving like government assistance, so I'm technically employed. I have work this week. Modeling for an art class. That's actually kind of what got me back into art, was because I started modeling for art classes. And I'm like in the environment where people are doing figure drawing while I'm standing there butt naked. It's actually not as weird as you'd think it was. It's like, it almost feels like I'm fully clothed. Like, I don't know how to explain this. I know a lot of people might say like, oh shit, I would never be able to do that. You're in an environment where people are very mature and respectful, and they're trying to improve their craft of art. And they're trying to learn how the human body works. Okay, like that, it's a very mature situation. It's non-sexual. It's not weird at all. And maybe I'm just also super comfortable with my body now, so that helps. Yeah, it's normal. Some people, obviously, usually, I don't know about this newer generation. Maybe Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the older Gen Alpha people, like the people who are just turning 18, right? Your major is graphics? Hell yeah. Yeah, keep up fighting for what you truly love to show up to. That you can keep showing up to work on it. And people are going to be like, oh, why are you getting into that? AI is going to take your job. Well, AI is going to take everyone's job, so you can just delete it from your mind, right? Like, if you think about it that way, if everybody's a superhero, then is anybody a superhero? So if AI is going to take your job, well, maybe it's your job to get better at not letting AI replace you. Hey, what's up, Dark Horse? That's my philosophy on it. I know a lot of people are really doom and gloom about AI, but it's like, well, it's like complaining about the weather. You know, you can't stop it from raining, but you can bring an umbrella, or you could just be okay with getting wet. Those are two options. You could wear a full rain suit. You could go scuba diving. You know, like you could either wear a full like rubber space suit or a rubber like raincoat and umbrella to avoid the water, or you could just wear a wetsuit and go scuba diving. That's my philosophy. I like scuba diving. I actually haven't learned how to do scuba diving. I'm not like certified or anything, but I like the idea of wearing a wetsuit and just learning to like be one with the water, right? Like be one with it. Be okay with getting rained on. It's just water. It'll dry. Now, don't get hypothermia, but like, you know, there's things you can do. Especially if you're like running, right? Like running in the rain. They do have specialized gear that doesn't get ruined in the rain for running and stuff like that. Some people are like, oh, it's raining. I can't go on a run today. It's like, yeah, you can. Just get wet. It'll keep you hydrated. You're not going to get sun damage. You know, like it's overcast and raining. So like you don't have to worry about the sun. Like you don't have to wear sunscreen or anything. So it's like, and you're going to get wet. So it might even hydrate you, right? Like you're getting hydrated while you're running and it's keeping you cool. Like if you think about it, right? Like, isn't it better to run in the rain? Like, but people are like, oh, it's water. I'm gonna get wet. That ruins my day. It's like, well, it might ruin your day if you're wearing like a super fancy outfit that will get ruined in the rain or whatever. But if you're wearing like proper clothes that don't get ruined in the rain or are enhanced in the rain even. Nowadays, they're engineering some crazy shit. They're like engineering clothing that like warms up when it's wet. I think it's called a wetsuit. Yeah, if you love the rain. Some people hate the rain. They'll try whatever possible to not get wet. Obviously, it is uncomfortable. But like, it shouldn't stop you from like doing something, especially if you're going to be out like exercising, because if you're like out exercising, like you're going to be like warming up your body, you're going to be preventing hypothermia and all that stuff. What am I doing? Oh, I'm setting up for art. Okay, let's set the environment up. I kind of want to use these, I got these like charcoal white pencils, and I do have black paper. So I kind of want to use these, just to try them out, to learn, because working in negative space kind of trains some different things. Ah, god damn it, there's an ant. I think. Ant in my eyeball. Oh. Good thing I have these leaf pod eyelid wipes. Good thing I have these leaf pod eyelid wipes with tea tree oil and chamomile and xanthophyll. Not sponsored, by the way. I'm just making a bit. Like in that one movie with Mike Myers. Shrek. No, Wayne's World. I don't have to just use them in the eyelid. Tea tree oil, it's very obviously diluted because it's near the eye. Okay. You watch anime? No. Okay, so we got, I want to use, so it's like a, don't hurt yourself with this. Yeah, don't hurt yourself with this, chat. Like, don't be dangerous. It's very serious equipment. Oh, and it has another kneaded eraser. I already have a couple of these. Your face is beautiful? Oh, you're beautiful. You look like you're about to stab someone? True. Don't fuck with me. English only in the chat, please. I'm gonna have to translate that, and I don't want to do that all the time. Oh, Job, you've humiliated us. Ya ayub bihadalatina. Bihadalatina. Ya ayub bihadalatna. I think that's how you pronounce it. Bihadalatina. Oh, Job, you've humiliated us. Jesus Christ. How did I humiliate you? Ayub. Yeah, I like Arabic and like Hebrew biblical names. Like there's just something really like soothing about it. Like my name is Rebecca. That's a Hebrew name. I really like it. You know, people like Rebecca, Michael, Sarah, like Michael Sarah. It's my favorite person. What's up, Sir Jacob? I think they were talking about you. I don't know why I did that. Probably because I'm on stream. Rebecca, real snores, I think it is. Some people are weird in the world. Oh. That was my previous stream. Alright, let's start a poll. Pencils. Which medium is your favorite? Pencil, ballpoint, dip, Dip pens, ballpoint pens, dip pens, rollerball pens. Oh, there's only 4. Okay, so we're gonna have to say ballpoint, dip pens. How about what? Oh, we're gonna skip dip pens. Acrylic. Or watercolors. Here, let's put acrylic or oils. Essential oils. Okay, which medium is your favorite? Acrylic and oils we're going to put in the same category. I'm going to time you out. Please, English only in the chat. I don't want to have to keep translating every time to make sure you guys are not being naughty. Look, I got these different white charcoal pencils. This is an eraser pencil. What? Hello? Well, it's only an eraser if it's on white paper. Let's see. Are these all the same? These are all just repeats of the same pencil, okay? It's not like they're different, like, strengths or anything like that. Those are just different repeats of the same pencil. Your medium isn't listed in the poll? What's your medium? 30? Oh, wait, should I have even asked? Yeah, so we're gonna work some white pencil for a little bit. So switching over to some black paper to really let it punch. Digital? Oh, well, digital, we're not counting digital, okay? That we already know digital is going to be like a ubiquitous, okay? Everyone uses digital. Well, not everybody, but we're not counting digital. We're talking about analog mediums. We're not talking about digital. Obviously, digital is going to be like an all-encompassing medium of its own. Because you can use different brushes that you can customize. Like, there's all sorts of different stuff with digital that it's just it's too big of a category. Like, it doesn't really match like any single category. Okay, let's make some big volumes. Well, first of all, let's set the center perspective right there. Yeah, let's just like set the main depth of the, yeah, so like I really like these pencils already. Jesus Christ. Yeah, nothing like white charcoal. Like chalk. Like charcoal. Like chalk. Chalk. Okay. Okay, now let's get the our medium, this is our dark, and this is a light. Okay, now let's do some blending. Get some blending going. Do you study perspective? I studied a lot of things on my own. I did some formal training, but it wasn't very extensive. I mostly studied on my own, I'm exercising an endeavor right now in personal accountability by showing up every day to do some kind of drawing exercise of some sort, or trying to make something real from my imagination onto a page somehow. Yeah, it definitely blends a little bit differently than black charcoal. I feel like it's like a little bit, what is it, more dense? Like harder to manipulate than black charcoal, I think. Kind of creating a little bit of chaos. See what we can work with. White on black. Yeah, I do like the white on black. It almost reminds me of like a chalkboard. Oh, that's another thing, eventually. We need to do chalkboard art at some point. One of these days. Maybe when I move out. I want to do oil painting and more upright kind of stuff. Maybe one day I'll get an actual like chalkboard. You can make your own chalkboard. You basically get whatever surface you want, and there's a special paint, like you can paint it on to like make your own chalkboard, or blackboard, or green board, whatever you want to call it. And they make very high quality chalk pencils, or not chalk pencils, but like I mean, I could get a chalk holder, so I don't have to get my fingers all dirty. This is Picasso level. I don't know if that's, I mean, that sounds like a compliment. I don't have the kind of fundamentals to do what he did, I don't think. Or maybe I'm holding him up on a pedestal. Isn't that what all art students do? Am I an art student because I'm holding up a Picasso to like he's like some kind of god? Oh, I'll never, that's blasphemy to compare me to Picasso. Like he's some kind of god. A lot of people do that. Like, he was just a dude. Like, come on. He did some great work. But I mean, in the end of the day, it's like, it is just work that he made, and he's just a dude. And now comes the blending. Ayo, Rebecca. Hey, mad lad. Are you mad, bro? Why would someone draw perfectly real painting when printers exist? The scribbling is the only real art now. Well, I mean, also, I think it's just like there's something new that's emerging. Not really new, but like the idea of filming the process creates a new art form that's separate from the artifact that you create. And we've already known this to be true. Like people like Bob Ross, for example. People appreciate his work not just because of his artwork. You know, some people even criticized his artwork as being like too generic, too bland, whatever. I think it was great, and he was using it as an education tool as well. But also showing the process in real time, especially nowadays with like YouTube, that is an art form all on its own. Showing the process temporally. Right? So like the temporal process of showing from blank page all the way through to complete product, like to create the artifact, you know, like that is its own art. You're feeling a lot lonely? Give me a tip to not feel this way. Try to focus on something that you can control, even if it's just getting your own special water cup. Like, I know, like, you know, this is kind of a shitty advice because it involves buying something with money, but get a special cup that feels comfortable for you, that like speaks to you. Because just having your own like cup tells your nervous system that it's safe to be you. And when you are comfortable with yourself, you feel less lonely because then you get to spend time with yourself. But also, I think people pick up on it. When you have like a peace about you, when you're like, yeah, I would prefer spending time with people, but I have a compromise of being able to spend time with myself. And I spend time with myself on my stream where I get to chat with you lovely people. You love Panda? You bought one? Oh, I thought you... I was reading the chat in the wrong... I thought Bubble said that he loved a panda and that he bought a panda. You love watching Brian Knox? I think I was watching him last night. Was he the guy who does acrylic painting? I was watching a playlist of a guy talking about, like, acrylic painting. And I fell asleep to it. It was like more involved. It was more educational than like Bob Ross, but he had Bob Ross vibes. I was also watching like a masterclass of a bald guy who looked like it reminded me. Maybe this is kind of rude to say, but maybe it's a compliment. It reminded me of watching like Captain Picard teaching me how oil painting works. Like that's what it felt like. And you know, people like Captain Picard, he engaged in a lot of the arts. I don't know if he did oil painting. Actually, I don't even actually know if he did. His brother did. His brother was an artist. And like, I mean, I don't know, Captain Picard, Star Trek plotlines. Basically, like he would do things like Shakespeare and like, I think like in Starfleet, like especially captains, people in Starfleet are encouraged to improve themselves. That's the real currency in the Federation, like in the age of Star Trek, in the world there. their currency, it's not a utopia, but they have capitalism without scarcity, which means that money doesn't really matter. Money matters in the universe because of like the rest of the universe. Like the rest of the Alpha Quadrant that's not part of the Federation uses currency, like gold pressed latinum. Okay, like the Ferengi, right? What are we doing, gentlemen? Well, gentlemen, boys, we are doing some artwork, for better or for worse, whatever it means. Trying to understand axes and planes, kind of like what I try to passively work on whenever I do something. Also working with blending charcoal, I think is like a thing. So it's like I'm trying to understand blending and how to like the physics of blending, how it affects the perspective, how it affects the axes and planes. Subtle ways I can use shading and like value to indicate axis and plane. Learning any object in 2D and extruding it to 3D is very challenging. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole challenge. It's the work of an artist, trying to understand how to represent 3D in a 2D space. That's the whole exercise. And I love it. I'm learning a lot these past couple of weeks that I've set a commitment to myself to learn art a little bit every day, even 3 minutes. I've already met my daily goal. So everything we do from here is bonus. When you set your daily success condition, it has to be so achievable that you can't possibly fail. And it's not because you're setting yourself low standards. A lot of people have this like perfectionist attitude that, you know, stops you from achieving success because you set your success goal so high that when you can't meet it, it's so much easier to give up on it. Like, oh, well, I can't draw for 3 hours today, so I may as well not draw at all. But if you say, I can draw for 3 minutes and that's my success condition, and you're also becoming more selective in that process because now you're like, what can I do in 3 minutes to improve my art, even if that's all I do? So you do 3 minutes of something where it's extremely targeted. You're targeting one of your weaknesses, or you're maintaining something and expanding on it, or you know, you're doing something with purpose for 3 minutes. But even if you just want to make some random marks on a page, the fact that you're training your body that this is time for art, this time of day, that at this time I set a goal and I met it, like that sets like a psychological dopamine like reward system. That you basically are rewarding yourself over time for showing up, which is really what matters. Because when you're gonna have days where you can only do 3 minutes, but you're gonna have days where you can do 3 hours. You're gonna have days where you can do 12 hours. Okay, but like if you can't show up for 3 minutes, none of those matter really, because you can always show up for 3 minutes a day. Draw for 3 minutes before you go to bed. Like, literally right as you're falling asleep, have like a pad of paper and a pencil or pen, and just make random marks on a page for 3 minutes while you're falling asleep. Like, that's something you can never fail at. Like, unless you're so sick that you're like literally like so violently unable to even grab a pencil. Like, you're like so weak that you're like throwing up blood and stuff. Like, you know, that's a different circumstance, okay? Like, let's be real. Most of the time you're not that kind of violently ill, okay? Even when you're sick with like, you know, like some kind of like the cold or something, or you have diarrhea or something, like you're still able to do something. But even then, I think a day off is probably best in those kind of days. And having a day of like, 3 minutes a day is pretty good. You can even do that when you're sick. But also, it means that on your rest day, you don't have to give it up entirely. Just doing 3 minutes of it can be counting as your rest day, instead of doing a full session. But 20 minutes is a good goal to have in general. Like doing art for 20 minutes every day, or at least 6 days a week, is extremely valuable over time. And it's way more valuable than doing like 3 hours once a week. You could do 20 minutes a day, or you could do 3 hours once a week. I would choose 20 minutes a day every time. Now, fortunately, I have a lot of free time, and I need to be doing it. I need to be filling it with something that's going to help me through this really annoying bureaucratic process I'm in. And so basically, I'm trying to get through this. Yeah, not really sure what I'm creating here, but we're getting it out onto the page. You're lyrically ill? It means you can't sing? You can't write lyrics? What's this? I don't know what it is, Matthew, but welcome. Can you touch your elbows together? Sometimes all you have to do is just start. Exactly. And when you set your goal as 3 minutes, you could even set your goal as 30 seconds. Hold a pencil, draw for 30 seconds. And I do have a project I'm going to be starting. I do have a project I'm going to be starting. I do have a project I'm going to be starting when I start doing more painting, particularly with oil painting. I have a project, obviously freeform art, where I just, spend the stream working on whatever. I might have like a particular medium in mind that day, but with oil painting, I have a specific plan, and I'm going to start this when I move out of this trailer. I want to have a fresh start with my life, and I want to do something. I kind of want to save oil painting for when I'm in as like a kind of inaugural practice. That it's like a reward for all the pain I've been through. I want to have positive associations with this change. And so I have a goal that I'm gonna create a YouTube series, and I'm gonna start out every single stream with oil painting, and I'm gonna set up my colors, spend the beginning of the stream setting up which colors I want to use for that session. But specifically, I'm gonna have a separate piece of work that is a canvas, and I'm gonna have it pre-coated with the first coat, and completely dried for at least 24 hours, possibly 48 hours, before I begin this first oil painting endeavor, where I want to spend the beginning of the stream deciding. I was going to say one stroke per stream for 90 days minimum, and then however long it takes until the condition is, and it's kind of subjective, after 90 days, I keep going with this process until even one dot would take away from the product. So basically, I go until I feel like there's no more marks that can add value to it. And it's going to be a little subjective, but a minimum of 90 days to make sure I don't cop out and end it early. But I think I need to change it to, instead of one brush, because oil painting, you're going to have to do little adjustments every time you approach the canvas. You're not going to do just one little stroke. You're going to be moving stuff around. I want to set a timer, I think for 30 seconds a day for 90 days. And then over time, I have a progress of like a YouTube video that says today's stroke. And it'll start with like me preparing the oils and talking about whatever I'm talking about and talking about the project. And then it'll show the project. It'll show me doing the colors. And then I do the 30 seconds with a timer. I even put the timer in the video. And then I do it for 30 seconds and then stop as soon as the timer goes off. And that's the end of that video. I mean, I'm going to be doing it on stream. So then from there, I take that canvas and put it aside. And then because I already mixed all my paints for that day, I then work on a fresh canvas or a previous project that's like a more free, like, you know, no time limit. That is the project, Radian. That's what I was talking about. You just missed it, Radian. Basically, I have a 30-second a day for 90 days, 30-second a day limit of an oil painting project. And I'm going to do that multiple times. I want to see what I can do over the course of 3 months if I only do 30 seconds a day and allow it to dry for 24 hours. It's also practicing like proper oil painting strategies, because a lot of times people will not continue a painting until it's fully dried for 24 hours. Or possibly longer. So it's like it'll really get somewhere, I think. And also, it means that I get to see how my process evolves over time. And as those 90 days go on, those 30 seconds are going to become more meaningful. And so at the beginning, it might just be a lot of just value placement and stuff like that. As time goes on and I add more detail to that oil painting, 30 seconds at a time, and I can do anything within those 30 seconds. So I can stage all my tools. Like, I need this brush with this oil. I need this brush with this oil. I need the knife, you know, with that oil, or an empty knife, you know, like the palette knife. Like, I can do whatever I can within those 30 seconds, and I'm gonna plan them so I can do as much as possible in those 30 seconds. And then the timer goes off, and everything, you know, no more touching the canvas until the next day, until 24 hours. I would say 24 hours, but like until the next day's stream, right? And I think even when I'm not going live, I could do the daily, like 30 seconds. How much is an oil kit altogether? Well, you can get a cheap one. I think I spent like $25 on an oil kit. That's not the point. The quality of the tools are not the point. I want to set this project because I think it'll be cool. Because at the end of the 90 days plus, when it's over, I can then do a montage. Like, I can connect the whole entire process, the 30-second chunk videos. I can connect them all into one single video, and then you'll see the whole process in real time, pretty much. Like, you'll see it as if I was doing it continuously. And you'll get to see how it evolved. Like 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. Put them all together of 90 days worth of that into one single video. Like, I think that would be a great YouTube project over the course of 90 days. And I would grab an audience over time as I created the video every single day of the 30-second update. So by the time the final video is done, I'll have the whole 90 plus day combination in a single video that everybody's been waiting for. So I think it's like a useful endeavor. Plus, as soon as I'm done with that first 30 seconds, I then move that aside and I work on a freeform canvas, either a continuation of another project or a new project. A la Bob Ross. So it's like I'm not just getting all my oils prepped and then just putting them all away and letting them go to waste. I'm getting the oils prepped for the day, and I'm starting every day with a ritual of 30 seconds on the canvas. And then as soon as the 30 seconds are done, you know, pencils down. You know, or brushes down, I guess. I think that's a pretty cool project. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to do it. I think it's really cool. And I'm going to start that when I move out of this trailer. I'm gonna do it somehow. I'm gonna find a space to record it if I can't stream it. Because I need to find a space to do oil painting. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it in my room or at the house that I'm gonna live in, but I'm gonna make it happen. I'm not gonna let things hold me back. I'm gonna start letting my creative self flourish. And I'm already starting to do that now, but I'm really gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna go full all-out creative mode when I finally move out of this trailer. I'm not holding myself up to like a huge like pressure to it. I'm trying to make it like kind of natural. Like I'm easing into it. Drawing stresses you out, well then that defeats the whole purpose. It's supposed to calm you. If drawing stresses you out, maybe drawing is not for you, but I highly encourage you to find a medium that brings you calm. It should be like meditation. It should feel like relaxing and comfortable. It shouldn't feel stressful. Find something that works for you. Find an environment that works for you. Find something that, like, find a project that you want to learn. Like, what kind of style do you want to draw? Do you want to draw like anime? Well, then there's a process for that. And, just find, you don't have to like practice fundamentals, at least right away. Just do something for fun. Stop worrying about what the end result is. Focus more on the process, because that's the only thing that really matters. Because if you can't show up every day, it doesn't matter how good you are, because you're not making anything. Even if you were like, like some kind of like I don't know, an example of like a famous artist. Like even if you were like Van Gogh or Monet or somebody, like all these like famous artists, right? Even if you're one of these famous artists that had the most amazing talent or skill, which is another word for talent, even if you're one of those people that had the amazing, like top tier, world class ability, if all you do is like, smoke weed and eat Doritos and don't show up to the canvas or the page, then none of that skill matters. So even if you're drawing scribbles like I am, you're already winning. Used to be my go-to relaxing time, now it just stresses me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Serby. I hope that you find it again. I felt that way about music for a while. I think I'm slowly starting to wake up to it again, but it's going to be slow. And I think art, like drawing and painting, is going to be my current engagement with art right now. Like drawing and painting. Because it's a really intimate, personal form of expression. It's like dance, but it's like dancing with your mind. It's like dance, but dance is like with your body, and it does integrate with your mind, but it's like getting your body into movement. And you're moving a lot if you're drawing like with correct form, it's like a dance. Like, like doing circles, for example. Like you can't do it slowly. You got to do it at a certain rhythm. It's like rocking back and forth. Like to do a circle, you can't do it slow. You have to do it fast. Not fast, but like you have to do it like with like a motion. Because art is motion. You're moving something in space and time to create an artifact. Like the mark on the page is a result of the movement, right? So it's like I'm like moving my arm, like it's rhythmic. There's form. I should probably make some coffee. Got the tea kettle for water. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some ASMR. So, yeah, I got this container for coffee. It's got this special mechanism. It's called airless, so it basically pushes the air out. So, you guys get to hear it. Yeah, coffee. Let's go. We're gonna grind some coffee. Yeah, we got this grinder. It's a burr grinder manual. I have it set. I have it set to 7. You should get therapy? Maybe. I mean, if you have to talk to somebody about it, you know, you have to talk to somebody about it. If I'm the beginning of that leads you to whatever you need, then, you know, I'm glad that I can be that for you, but I'm not a therapist. But if talking about it helps, then, you know, you got to talk about things, you know, if something is holding you back. Yeah, coffee. It stresses me because every time I sit to draw, I feel like I have to make it good. I feel that one. Good workout. Yeah, and there we go. And here, you guys can see the I got some coffee here. Maybe if, here, let's try something interesting. Okay, and then you could close this. Isn't that satisfying? Okay, time to make some coffee. And I got this nice like copper filter, like filterless. Yeah, it's like this paperless filter. It's really fine. Like it basically acts just like paper. And so my water kettle allows you to set the temperature. It works on a different kind of heating source than most automatic kettles. You can actually use hot water and keep it at a temperature. So I can set my coffee to 205 degrees Fahrenheit. And I measure it out in basically in 1.5. This is 12 ounces. I do like 18 ounces of water. So like 1.5 of these. All right, you guys can't see it, but I'm pouring the coffee. Here we go. Yeah, for green tea, for my chicory root, I do 194 degrees. And for green tea, I use 175 degrees. Got your daily ASMR. Yeah, you guys like ASMR kind of stuff? And see how the coffee, ground coffee beans affect the lines. Like, oh, using them as ways to, in order to clean them off, I have to make marks on the page. Make it like a video game. Yeah, I think like getting over perfection is like you have to think about your success condition as process. And that's how I get over it because, I'm not this great amazing artist, okay? Like, and if I tied my happiness to my results, I would be giving up all the time, which is what was happening. I had to change my mindset to my identity is not based in my output, is not based on my results over whether or not somebody thinks it's good or not. Because that's extremely subjective. It's not going to really help. Um, I think setting your expectations to be, I am the kind of person who shows up and feel it. Maybe I should look it up, but there is a writer who said, "Kill your darlings. Learn what works and what doesn't work, and you have to have the boldness to boldly go where no one has gone before." Um, you have to have the boldness to show up and say, you know what, I'm going to experiment with this today. It might not be good, but it's helping me like get this expression. Like I'm doing something to get that voice, like to give that idea a voice. And like you're seeing where it goes. Like right now, if I waited until I was good enough to be an artist to show up, I wouldn't have showed up today. I'm learning by doing. I'm getting better by doing. Because I'm experimenting with like value and like lighting and working on different planes and different axes. Like value. Different value gives different different impressions over like what is happening on the page. I may not be creating like some amazing piece of, fine art. So like what drew you to art in the first place? Right? So like trying to find. Yeah, unfortunately my internet is, I think, going out. Yeah, I think my internet's going out. Well, this sucks. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stream. Um, Seems to be going in and out. I hope it looks a little bit more stable now. I'm not sure. I think it might be more stable now. You got pencil at 67%. Yeah, I think I don't know if you heard a lot of what I was saying. Um, but that's basically it. So I think like you have to find like what drew you to art in the first place and what core expression were you trying to say? Because I feel like art in general is about saying things that we can't really say normally. It's about expressing ourselves in ways that we normally can't, especially visually. Visual spatial expression is something that is more raw than like words. So like writing, obviously, like fiction writing, even like writing in a narrative, like a story, like a novel or a short story, is or even an essay. Writing in a narrative form is not how we normally communicate. So like when you're writing a narrative, like a fiction novel, you're able to utilize things to get your ideas across that normally don't work. That's why we write fiction, is because we can write about things that we normally are not part of our real world. And we can communicate things we can't normally communicate. Visual mediums like art, like drawing, painting, those sorts of things go into a raw, visceral part of our minds. And the medium doesn't matter. Although I highly encourage you, if you have a hard time drawing, go back to analog mediums. Do what I'm doing. Like get charcoal, get pencil, get ballpoint pen, get acrylics or get watercolors, get oils. Do something that is different from your usual workflow. Do something that you don't do to perform for anybody. Because if normally you do digital art, well, that usually has performance anxiety because maybe that's your main medium and you're expecting a lot from yourself. If you try out an analog medium that you don't normally use, it's going to get rid of that performance anxiety just because you're not going to hold yourself up to such a high standard. Because if you always work with digital, you have a certain minimum threshold that you're trying to meet, right? So if you change it up and do something analog, you started as an escape from all the bad stuff that was happening in my life at the time. That's a genuine reason to start art. And maybe you escape from those things and maybe art doesn't feel the same anymore. You're going to try oil paints? Good. Make sure to do it in a heavily ventilated area. I think that's going to really do you some good. If you're having a huge artist block and you don't know why you're doing art anymore, well, that's the discovery. Your job isn't to figure out what you need. I mean, your job isn't to figure out the answer. Your job is to figure out the answer. Like you're going to draw or paint as part of the discovery. You don't know why you really need to paint. You don't really know why you draw because you used to have a purpose. It was an escape. It was like, but if your circumstance changes and you no longer need as an escape, well, now it's like that reason doesn't really feel as meaningful anymore. And so now you have to find the deeper reason. Maybe there was a deeper reason why you came to art in the first place, and that was just an excuse. Like the escape part was like the enabler. I mean that has like negative connotations, but the escape part was something that got you to show up. But now you need something to help you show up now. And so you need to find what that is. And I would highly encourage, use oils. If you normally do digital art, use pencils, use ballpoint, do everything that I'm doing. Pretty much. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to use raw, non-digital mediums because they've been used for thousands of years. The materials itself might be more new, like there's more synthetic brushes instead of animal hair, etc. Stuff's more durable and more engineered, or stuff is even more affordable, which is honestly, if you had to choose between using extremely expensive, high quality materials, but you have less of them because you can't afford to just burn through them, I would think that it's, even if you're trying to create professional quality work, you'd be better off using cheap materials because then you're able to burn through it and just show up. Which when you do have expensive materials, you'll make more use of them. I would say get the cheapest things you possibly can that get rid of any excuses. Don't use super expensive oils and brushes, unless you have them. But even then, you should get the cheapest possible things you can, like the cheapest types of canvas you can make, or even just paint on planks of wood. Don't let the material cost influence you. If you are trying to rekindle your relationship with art, you need to remove as many barriers as possible. You need to make it so this is so mundane and common. It's like making a cup of coffee, right? You don't need to have super artisan $300 a cup coffee, okay? You can have some 25-cent coffee. You need to finish your current projects. Well, yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Deadlines and professional work, all that kind of stuff. Um, Even if you're not getting paid, even if it's just like it's a personal professional project. I feel like those should be treated the same way as if they were like commissioned work, because you're commissioning it for yourself. You're the client, and the client matters more. That the client relationship matters, especially if it's with yourself. So, but obviously, especially if you're doing this because somebody's paying you and commissioning you, then yeah, you got to finish those. And so showing up, even that though, in between sessions, do something, even for like 5 minutes, that has no requirements, that brings you back to your nature as an artist, like that brings you back to what truly matters to you. Do something to explore rather than to create. Like, not you're not trying to create a product. You're exploring your identity. I think like having something, stop treating them like projects. Treat them as showing up to the page, and you don't even have to complete them. Having that ability for ambiguity, and without, completion and performance anxiety is really useful, but it's really hard to train. It's taken me my whole life to train that ability. To be able to show up to something, to paint or to draw, and not care if it's finished or not. Like, just do it as an exercise. It's like going to the gym. I like that, going to the gym lately. I've been talking about that metaphor, or that comparison. It's like working out. Like, you show up to go on a walk, okay? Like, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it because the activity itself gives you reward. So why do we treat art differently? This is like going for a walk. Like earlier, I did 30 minutes of stair climbing. This is my art stair climbing. This is training me to understand how this tool works, and how like my general artistry ability works, how value works, how different planes work, how different kind of blending works, and shadows, like lighting. I may not be correct by like the textbook definition. It may not be like professional quality work, but that's not the condition that I'm setting myself. My condition is I'm showing up and I'm exercising. And the completed work almost doesn't matter, because it's the process of making it that matters. Like, making this is the reason to do it. And that's what creation is. You are creating. It's the creation that matters. And you can always create something again later. You can throw it out. I would recommend not like literally throwing out your work, but if you need to, then do it. If throwing it out, like actually throwing it in the garbage can, shredding it, hopefully within reason, like if it's safe, and like throw it in the fireplace. Obviously, if it's not like oils and stuff, that's like fire hazard. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, literally throw it away. If that helps get rid of this perfection performance anxiety, make the most possibly beautiful thing you can make and throw it away. If that's what you're trying to, because you're not training your artist ability. You're training your ability to show up for the process. That the end result is just arbitrary. It's just a side effect. It's an artifact of the creation process. Now, it has value, but we're learning, especially because we live in the age of AI, the product doesn't really make us an artist. The artistry comes from the creation of the product. And nowadays, I feel like the real value, something that AI cannot replicate, is that I am a real human with real stakes, with the real world, and seeing this process in real time, like on my live stream. That provides a value that AI can't really do. Like, yeah, technically AI could get to a place where it could pretend to do what I'm doing right now, but people are going to know it's not a real person. And if they don't, it's still not a real person, like objectively. So like, what does the art really matter? It might have value in like entertainment, and but you can say that the same about human art. Are you really your art? Because somebody's going to hang your painting in some museum or at some art display or in their house. They're going to see it as a commodity. You are not a commodity. Your artifacts are. The stuff that you create, they're not part of you. They never were. And I think AI is kind of showing us this in like hyperspeed. It was already a reality. It has nothing to do with AI. Our product, some client that commissions you to do a paint job, to make like a painting or something, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. I mean, they might, but like they are really they're what they're paying for is a product. And that's not you. That's not you're just creating something for a client. That's it has meaning, but that's not really your identity. That is something that is external to you. And I think like being able to find like what led us to art in the first place gives us a reason to show up, because if output is your primary reason for showing up, well then what if you stop caring about what other people think? Are you going to stop showing up? So you have to have a reason to show up. Because what if you were like, I mean, money is one, like something, obviously, I don't think people get into art for money. But let's say you are in a position where you're getting paid like a full-time income or more for getting commissions and all that. Well, what if you suddenly became a multimillionaire because you accumulated enough like wealth? Like, are you still going to show up? Because if the answer is based on whether or not you're making money, is getting enough money to live for the rest of your life. Like, let's say you had like $500 million. And if you're smart, you're not stupid, you could literally never work again in your entire life. If you were smart. If you didn't waste it all on gambling or some shit. Um, Especially if you're good with investments and the smart investments, not the day trading, like, like real investments are kind of like banks if you're doing it right. In my like my understanding of it is that if you're doing investing right, you're treating it as more of a long-term like stability investments, like what blue chip or like you're investing in companies to basically store your wealth and make very small margins. Like your money goes with the market going up and down. You make strategic purchases or sell or sales of your stocks to basically make like, okay, well, you made an extra $10,000 this year, whereas if you kept it in a bank account, savings account, you would have only made like $2,000. Like, right? So it's like you made $8,000 more, right? So like because you invested in Google or Apple or something, right? It's more like a long-term like it's like a bank with benefits is how people who are smart with stock trading, I think that's how they treat it. You bought chocolate chip brioche bread? Hell yeah, bro. Fuck yeah, that's a big investment. No, people like, I mean, all obviously, all silliness aside, sometimes getting some chocolate chip brioche bread is probably the best thing you can do for yourself. Sometimes, it feeds the soul. If you're feeding the soul 3 times a day with chocolate chip brioche bread, then maybe you need to adjust your soul your soul farm. Okay, like you had to give it some thought. Was it wearing a thong? Thong, 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 thong. Just get some smoothing out of some of the more textural edges. But I want to keep some texture in here. I don't want to keep it like fully blended. I want to have like strategic blending of certain harsh edges, but I want to keep some texture to it and individual like hard lines. Um, but I'm like kind of getting more precise here as this work goes forward. Like kind of layering. I think layering is one of my strong suits. Like understanding the concept of like staging your work across multiple phases and layers. It kind of gives like a little bit of like a blur effect. In the end, I want there to be definition. So it's like we're not completely through this process. This is another like kind of blend phase. And then I kind of want to finish it with more fine detail to have some definition and texture. Let's get our music back on. Yeah, we got 67% of 12 votes for pencil. I think this is going to be like the final pass here.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for this next one. This is sweet. Really, really like the style and the mood of the track. Upbeat, loving it. It's got a really sweet driving beat to it. This is actually pretty sweet. Wow. Good groove, great percussion that drives the track along. Like I said, the beat is tight here. It's just an amazing, amazing listening experience. Dude, this is epic. This is some epic shit right here. This is amazing. I would honestly put this maybe in my top 5 of anything I've ever heard. Well, sure, I guess. What? Oh, snap. Yes. Yes.
Some scumbling. There's some detail, definition. Light scumbling. There's some texture. Well, I think this is as good as it's gonna get, really. What do you guys think? go. Just have to assign it to kind of signal that no more marks for this. For better or for worse, I created this. Yeah, nice white charcoal pencils. Yeah, it's good to have that, especially with like working in negatives is like actually like because we're used to working like on lighter paper, working on like dark paper, especially like you know we're it kind of has like a psychological impact because we're used to seeing like black on white, and then it's like things look very different when you use white on black, just like psychologically. Just like taking a short break and just kind of hanging out and chatting and just giving myself like some opportunity to like reflect on like this process. So like working with this white charcoal, like first of all, working with charcoal, very different than working with graphite. Like working with pencil, like either, you know, different, I've been using 2HB Ticonderoga pencils, but I got a 0.5 millimeter Orange Nero mechanical pencil, which has a different kind of mechanism than regular mechanical pencils. It basically saves you a lot of lead because you don't, it only uses like the very tip of it, and there's like a metal sheath mechanism that like automatically feeds it as it gets used up. So I basically call it an unlimited pencil because I never have to worry about it except for like putting in new leads. Hey Shadow Blitz, welcome back. So like putting in new leads for the Orange Nero, it's like I call it an unlimited pencil because it's basically like if I just want to be able to draw without worrying about like running out of like having to switch pencils. And that's why usually I'll use like if you look at my pencil holder, I usually have a bunch of pencils already sharpened, and then when they get too dull, I flip them around to show the eraser. So basically my whole process with using pencil is I want to have as little breaks as possible. I want to treat it like a continuous flow, but even that is like I still have to swap pencils, and also means I have to carry the pencils with me if I'm out in public or something, which is fine because I have like, you know, kind of like a smaller version of that, like in my usual, like if I don't really go out much, but you know I have like my ballpoint, like a ballpoint set. I found more ballpoints, black ballpoints. So I definitely need a black ballpoint in here. So the primary colors, obviously, like black, blue, green, and red, and also white gel pen, and then like Q colors. So basically like highlight colors that are more for like nuance colors. Although if I'm doing ballpoint, usually I'm doing monochrome, like a monocolor anyway. So like just one color, usually. But like if I want to do like work in color with ballpoint, I can. I also have some like, you know, just like paper, just in case that like even if all this is all I have, is like if all I have is with me is like, oh, I have pencils in here. So like even if all I have with me is this this little this is like a complete portable art studio. The only thing missing is an eraser, but I could put an eraser in here too. In fact, yeah, put a gum eraser in there. Yeah, just like this, you know, standard like gum eraser. Like I can put the gum eraser like right here, right? And now I have a complete portable art studio ready to go. Even if I just don't even really want to bring my purse, like it fits my phone right here, right? So even if I just want to take this as a purse, right? Like I have a complete portable art studio right here. So it's like good to go. If I want to take that instead of my purse. So I have a completely portable art studio, so there's never an excuse not to draw. Now I prefer working with my normal stuff. I started using like clipboards, like this clipboard, and I have like these clipboards. I have a lap desk for working in bed, or I guess if I didn't have access to a desk somewhere, I could, but that's harder to carry with me. I have this, I want to fill this up with art supplies as well, because then this becomes like a kind of more elaborate art studio where I can hold stuff in here. I have like a file folder, and I put all my work so far these past couple of weeks. I put those in here. So like if we look at the work I've done the past couple of weeks, you know, I really like this one, this concept. I think I'm going to keep coming back to this concept in different iterations. You know, just like doing stuff like this. And I did this with the mechanical pencil. So I really like the idea of just having one pencil and just working with it without any loss of flow. I like this one too. It's almost like, I like the detail I did on this. It's like a broken clock. It's like a clock that's been shattered. I don't know if that's completely obvious, but that's at least like the minute and hour hand, like hour hand and minute hand. Like, is that like a 235. This is just some random, you know, doodling, like just a lot of random doodling these past couple of weeks, but it's gotten me into a flow that I really like of showing up to do art. You know, some of these are like practice drills, some of these are doodling, some of these are like me trying to do something. Like this is most of the stuff like this, it's usually just doodling. I'm just trying to make marks on the page. Like this is a drill. This was me like kind of doodling, but then it kind of turned into a concept, which I'm going to explore again at some point. I call that one Phantom Angels. This is just more doodling, and it's just kind of getting like basic, like trying to understand some kind of form, but like it's basically pure chaos. This is like rotating three-dimensional objects in space, so it's another kind of drill. This was like a more deliberate work. Lately, see, I want to be able to transition away from this, but basically I start doodling and then it turns into something more deliberate. And I want to be able to do something deliberate from the beginning, but one step at a time. This is also something that became a more complete work, at least within my current ability. Here's some more figure exercises. More exercises. Understanding how to twist things in space and in 3 dimensions. This was just a random, gag for the stream. This is more doodling, just kind of understanding perspective, like an intuitive level. Bulbasaur, drawing from reference. That's a good exercise. And we did multiple iterations. This was yeah, so like multiple iterations. I think this was the best one. This was another one that was kind of doodling, and it kind of created something that later became that other one in a different way. But like, this is just kind of like trying to figure out like different concepts. This was the beginning of a doodle, but then it leaned into the Bulbasaur thing. Bulbasaur Monday. Oh yeah. Oh, today's Monday. We gotta do Bulbasaur Monday again. I don't know if that was like completely serious. I think it was more of like a just spur of the moment part of the stream. I'm not quite ready to lock myself into like deliberate projects, like especially for stream. I'm not trying to lock myself in to some kind of like arbitrary like stream schedule. I'm trying to capture what I'm already doing. I'm not trying to impose anything on myself. I'm just trying to capture my art journey. I think that's more healthy. And also I think I don't know if I can. I think I have it ready. I want to show you guys art from one of my previous journey that I've done before. I think probably around, I think it was in 2011. 2010 or 2011, I tried to work on my art while I was homeless. Because I was trying to train to be a concept artist or drafting. And I thought maybe that was like a useful skill. It definitely got me through some hard times and while I was living in a homeless shelter. At the very least, and it'll kind of show you like what where I was at that time with my art journey and where I am now, and you can tell like a difference in like the way I approach it now. So after we go through this portfolio so far, through this journey. Yeah, like this idea of like almost like a biomechanical mech kind of idea keeps coming up, and I'm just kind of like exploring where things go without trying to force anything. No Bulbasaur Monday. Oh no. And this is another white on black with some coloring. This was gel pen. Just like little doodle sketches from scribbles. Like from scribbles to something. These are just some geometric shapes. Doodle scratches, really. Scratches, literally for ballpoint cleaning. More scratches for ballpoint cleaning. Especially those like 10-in-1 ballpoint pens. They're really kind of finicky. He was 8 years old in 2011? Damn. Yeah, I was 2011. That was 15 years ago? Damn. Yeah, I was in the homeless shelter in 2011. From 2010 to 2014, I was in the homeless shelter, going back and forth between the homeless shelter and even sleeping outside and such. I don't want to go over that too much, but basically, that was 15 years ago. I'm 38, so 10 years ago I was 28. I was 23 when I was in 2011. Yeah, so that's my journey so far since coming back to art. And let's add this one. Although I think I need to actually, like, because this is charcoal, I need to keep it separate from these. But also, I do have I don't know where it is. Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I do have this fixative or whatever. Yeah, so I'll let that dry. Damn. Yeah, also let that ventilate a bit. Don't worry, I got a window open, got the fan on. Yeah, so like let's go through the other art book from homeless times. Go on, kind of bringing you guys on a journey a bit into my past. On a journey to the past. Heart, don't fail me now. One foot around the other. On this journey to the past. Yeah, so where is it? Where be it? Oh, I think I know where it is. Maybe not. Heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Journey to the past. Oh, there it is. Found it. Guys, I'm going to take you on a journey through my art past. Oh, well, thank you for being here, Serby. Take you on a bit of a journey. So basically I had to kind of edit some things to stop triggering me, but I also had to, this is my former self. So, you know, I had to reclaim it, so I changed my name and all that kind of stuff. This I never finished. It's a gynosphinx. I never finished this one. You can kind of see like stuff that I was working on, like hands, like trying to understand how to draw like the eye, and there were some parts of me that were very fragmented. When I was in the homeless shelter, like things were very fragmented. This almost looks like a self-portrait. You know, it's like a female figure. Like all that stuff was like really buried inside of me at this time, because I had been going through. This was the time when I started going back into the closet. So I was trying to externalize everything to try to run away from the fact that I'm transgender. And which is not necessarily like it's not like it was all bad, because I was focusing on different things. I was focusing on trying to learn how to draw. Like, for example, like I don't want to say necessarily everything was bad all the time. It was pretty bad, but yeah, basically just like working on eyes, understanding that it's not just an eye circle, it's like it exists inside of an eye socket. And I think this is like the very beginning of understanding that art, trying to understand the components of something rather than, you know, just an outline of something. This is just, you know, trying to have different marks and understanding the human proportions. It's probably based on some YouTube video. I actually did get this from like understanding a YouTube video on how to draw the human body, and this is a female body. So just random doodling. Nux. Like knuckles, like Nux. T-dud. What is that? Eye socket, eyeball, upper, lower lip, lids, tear duct. Yeah, this was like a YouTube video. It was talking about the actual structure of an eye. It's more than just an eye. Outer corner. Crease of eyelid, eyelashes, eyebrow, sclera, iris, and pupil. And then this was just like I was doing circles. These were supposed to all be eyes. I got lazy. I was supposed to be practicing different eyes. This one was like probably the most fundamental understanding of eyes that I think I got to at the time. Like that it exists inside of a structure. I think that was like kind of eye-opening for me. I think this was like a pretty good understanding. This is another YouTube video. Of like understanding like the facial structure, that it's not just a face, it's like a head on a body, you know, like it's a human thing, that it consists of multiple parts. These are just random doodles. This is more random, like kind of value exercises and making grids with, you know, without rulers, and you know, like to understand like how things work. This is just more like line practice and doodles. This is working on like the human arm and like the human body. I like this one a lot. Like I really like this sketch. Like she's wearing like a coat. It looks like it has like realistic draping. I would say like this is probably like the best work in here. Like this one right here. Like it's a really like deceptively good sketch. Like it's simple though. It's just some more doodling and circles and stuff like that. Understanding. It was like a drafting course, or it's like a drafting course on YouTube that I was going through. I'm pretty sure. Like understanding hands. That it's like a wedge and like a cylinder. Oh. Yeah, that it's like a wedge and a cylinder. Yeah, just other different more exercises. Understanding the mechanics of the wrist. That like this is the basic form of a like the forearm and the wrist and the hand, and like when you moved up and that it moves up and down, and it also like twists. Trying to understand how it works. Also understanding that there are humanoid translations into even fictional characters. And I think I was reading a textbook for that. It was like an ebook about dragons and other mythical creatures. This is just more so. This is where I learned. It was from that drafting course, drawing like concentric, like circles around in different perspectives. Understanding how to draw in 3D space with like circles with little pins coming out to defend like the direction of the plane and the axis. This is like perspective. What is that, foreshortening? So this is like foreshortening and like depth. This is just more of that kind of stuff. This was an exercise where you draw a circle and you go from the center, and it's to train your hand coordination. So you go to this, you go from the center to the outer edge of the circle, and you can make these as big or as small as you like. You go into the edge and then back without trying not to make the line different. So obviously it's going to have differences, like you're going to go forward, but when you come back, it is probably not going to go on the exact same path. But your goal, and this is just in a different perspective, with foreshortening and such, your goal is to make as straight a line as possible, front and back, and it's to have hand-eye coordination of having a center line to a destination line. So it's like destination and then back to the original starting location. And I did that a bunch. Did more of these exercises. I kind of compounded on them. The circles around a sphere to show the different planes. This is this exercise again. More of this. This one is just more loose. This is a different one. This is where you're trying to fit like a spiraling pattern inside of it. This is that line exercise. This was that line exercise to the extreme. Like this is like, you know, more of the spiraling around an oval, but it's supposed to be in one continuous spiral is the goal. This is more of this, more of that. Just like different lines, trying to maintain like hand control, arm movement. The different exercises that I did, and I did all this when I was homeless. So I would go to the college and just do this to keep myself from... I did it to keep myself focused on the goal of escaping homelessness. I never actually truly escaped the problem, and I'm only now just starting to get resources that are truly like getting me out of here. Because the reason I stopped being homeless was because I moved back in here, and it was in the previous trailer in 2014, and then we got this new trailer pretty quickly after I moved back in. I don't want to talk too much about that, but I never really solved the problem. Oh, this is me trying to do figure drawing in different active positions. Like this is like somebody like reaching up and like doing different actions, trying to understand like how the body moves depending on the actions. This is just breaking it down into the different geometric shapes, kind of. This is just more like experiments, like doing different actions and such. Different movements. This is like doing like trying to deliberately to try to make the character do action. So this is like holding a staff and like in mid action. This is like running in mid action. These are just some other different like trying to understand movement. This one's kind of interesting and it doesn't follow the rules, but I think this one's kind of interesting. Looks like this person is like smoking a cigarette or something. This is just kind of like that. Is this exercise again? This is that kind of silhouette. Is this exercise again? Whatever the hell this is. I think it's like I was trying to draw like a building. I don't know. Some more of those exercises. This exercise again. This exercise again. This exercise again. This exercise. This exercise. More of the figure drawing. Doing like actions like kicking a ball. Like dancing. Meditating. Levitating. Because that's a normal thing. Pushing against a wall. To try to create understanding in space. Different like planes and like plane direction. Different poses. Like sitting and standing. And I still have trouble with this one. Two people connecting to each other. That's really hard to do for me right now. So like two people embracing. It's really hard. More of this exercise. More of this exercise. More of these exercises. This was understanding like an axis. Like literally an axe in an axis. More of these kind of exercises. More exercises. More exercises. This is like a samurai, or this is somebody shooting a basketball. Someone with a tennis racket. Someone doing a dunk of a basketball. Someone just like putting their arm over their chest. More exercises and foreshortening and perspective. This exercise. These exercises. These exercises. This exercise, like doing like square rectangles around rectangles outward. More of those exercises. Understanding different axes. This exercise incomplete. Some doodles just to like see where I was. I don't know if that's a password to something, but it's long since gone, whatever it is. It's like, I don't know what the hell that is. Whatever it is not something I use. Probably not. At least I hope not. Jesus Christ. Whatever it is long since expired. Even if you knew what it was for, it's probably long since expired. This is just more stuff. Axes. Just more of this stuff. Another basketball thing. Base. or bass. Football. Like just other stuff, more doodling or like more exercises, but like basically just making a lot of exercises. That's kind of where I was. More doodles and this exercise, trying to keep the steady, you know, movement. Another eyeball. Like music notes and like other just like kind of different symbols. Just other stuff. Try to understand different symbols. I think I ripped this one out probably for a reason. I don't know. Or it was ruined. I don't know. Drawing a clock face. Just basically just different things. This was an interesting little doodle here. Another eyeball, really detailed. Just more exercises, random doodle, more kind of exercises, but like in doodle form. This is like a completed drawing. I don't actually know if this was before I was homeless or after. It could have been after at this point. This was me kind of experimenting with some inking as well. Like I was using like a pigment liner. I think I was like couch surfing at this point. I wasn't like completely in the homeless shelter. I think I was staying with a friend. Oh, this was a prompt. Yeah, I did one prompt from this project in a forum. And it was like, alluring alien striped. OCDG number 16. I don't know what that was from. Original character. Maybe it was a DeviantArt thing. I don't know. It was a web forum. And I submitted this. So, I mean, like, I stopped doing those daily exercises. I don't know why. This is just line practice. Yeah, this is kind of the problem, is I had a really hard time continuing with things. Like, I did this for a number of, weeks, and then I just kind of gave up on it. I could have kept going. Like, if I had kept doing this since then, I would be, like, a professional artist by now. Like, like, if I kept doing stuff like this... Jesus Christ, like I was doing really good work, but I burned out. I was doing all exercises. I wasn't trying, I mean, I attempted to apply stuff, but you gotta apply stuff. You can't just do exercises all the time. I guess I learned that the hard way. Because I did a bunch of exercises. Because I was like, I want to get better at fundamentals, which is important, but like, I wasn't allowing myself to truly express myself. And a lot of this, you know, I don't want to get too much into this, but a lot of this is literally because I was avoiding... I was not very connected with my identity. I was very... Laughingstock. I was very disconnected from my identity. This is a really good one. I think I drew this from a reference. That's somebody else's work. Two people kissing, and I gave the little tattoos, but like otherwise this was somebody else's work. I think this is also somebody else's work. This is from a reference. This was like another version of that. I was trying to zoom in like on the process. This is an interesting one. I think that was also somebody else's work I was referencing. It's just some eyeballs over there. This one is interesting. It's like this is also from reference. These are both from reference. Very like masculine figure here. Like prominent. This is a very powerful angle. Like, it's really crazy. And then there's just like a gun. A blank page. Then like something, and then this is another version of that. Two people kissing. More figure drawing, more exercises. I need to heat up my coffee. Just more kind of doodles and exercises. This was for therapy, actually. This is when I started using this again. I grabbed this notebook and I started reclaiming it. This is for therapy, actually. 2021, June 1st, on a Tuesday. rebeccaloran. So yeah, this is when I reclaimed everything. This is As I Am Now. Universal Space what? I don't even know what that means. It's basically chaos. I was in pure chaos. And the other thing was like how people, like how I think people see me, or I don't know what that is. As I Am Now. And then this one is like as other people see me now, or where I think that other people see me now. I'm just trying to be okay. That's supposed to be me, and I'm still very clouded. You're a weirdo. You're stupid. You will never be successful. Like, just people, like, the crowd, like, yelling at me. And this is, like, where I want to be. Having a random person, like, me actually listening to supportive people rather than all the angry people. I was also live streaming at this time very heavily, so part of that was just that I was caring so much about what other people thought that was negative. This was where I wanted to be, where I was working in this therapy session. I think it was a group therapy thing. This is where I want to see myself. And this is don't let them upset you. And like, this is a supportive person. And it could just be a random person. Instead of just listening to all the negative people, why not listen to the people who are supportive? You know, it's so easy to look at the negative. And like, this is a more detailed version of me. You know, compared to these other ones, this one's pure chaos. Very like shadowy. This one is like a little bit more formed, but like I'm listening to all the, you know, the angry people. This one is like I'm starting to like, like maybe I should start listening to supportive people. And that's that, you know, and then that's the end of that journey. Be continued. Which is basically what we've been doing the past couple of weeks. I need to heat up my coffee. We've been live for 2 hours. I'm not ready to stop the stream today. We need to do some more drawing. I've been taking a break from that last session. I really enjoy starting my stream and having something to structure my day. Hey, Ali Tisa Teski. I hope I didn't say something, a bad word. Welcome, Ali. I need to microwave my lukewarm coffee. This is still drawing from the fixative, but we did some white charcoal earlier. It's still drawing from the fixative. It's still drying. But yeah, this is what we did earlier on stream. I think I'm gonna get some mechanical pencil and just do some doodling. Make sure to drink plenty of water. What am I drawing? Today I'm just kind of trying to draw for relaxation and continuity. You know, still enjoying my coffee. Okay, I think I aired out from the fixative spray enough. It's getting cold and windy. Turn off the fan. Get my little heater going. It's like a little 500 watt heater. It's awesome. Basically costs like pennies a day to run compared to like a normal space heater that might be like 1500 watts, which is still not crazy expensive. But there's a problem with my electrical system. They are working on getting me a place to live that's away from here, but this house has an issue where if I plug something with like 1200 watts or like 1500 watts or whatever at a certain wattage, it'll reset the breaker if you have two things running at the same time. So if I run the like water kettle and like the more higher wattage heater at this even like if it's on the same breaker, it'll reset the break. I'll have to reset the breaker. And there's like, it's weird. It's like a weird trailer situation. I can't wait to move out of here. I'm going to be like really blunt. This is taking over my entire life living here. And I need to move on with my life. So they're working on it. They're finding me a new place to live. The agency that I'm working with. Okay, so let's work with some mechanical pencil, just because I like how it feels to use this. I like this Orange Nero 0.5 millimeter. Basically, all you have to do is just you click it once, and it just keeps. There's like a spring action that continues to load just the very edge of it. And I think it enables a lot more ease of access, which right now I think that's the most important thing for my drawing. Hey Leafy, how you doing? I think that's the most important thing for my drawing right now is literally just being able to show up. And so it's like the mechanical pencil. It's also good for like construction, like constructing lines. So like understanding like different different vertices and intersection points, like, because it's not really great for like, you know, if I want to do like deeper shading and more expression, you know, use like a standard, like this is a 2HB pencil, you know, like if I want to do like more like, you know, shading and stuff like that, then I'd rather, you know, use a wooden pencil. But for like more pen-like behavior, like for like, especially for like finer detail, like the mechanical pencil is great. Plus this just kind of feels great to work with. Hey, Urlock fandom finder. Am I an Urlock fandom? What does that even mean? Phantom tax? I actually just like prefer using this because it reminds me of, it's like, I really like ballpoint pen, but like mechanical pencil has like the benefits of pencil, but also the permanent, like the kind of mindset of kind of pen-like behavior. And so it's like a good in-between. Plus it can be erased, you know, so it's oh, I do have a good, I don't know if I can find it right away, but I have a little like kind of thing that I can squeeze that blows, like literally. that's like better than using my my mouth to blow things, but whatever. Have you ever tried a charcoal pencil? We literally did earlier this stream. I showed you. I said I did white charcoal on black paper. It's still the fixative is still drying, because with charcoal you can't, it'll smudge a lot easier than graphite. So I have to use a fixative to store it. But either way, it served its purpose, and I recorded it on stream, so it's already archived. I already took a screenshot of it. So it's already digitally archived, but, you know, the original, in order to keep the original in good condition, I had to, you know, apply a spray a fixative on it. Obviously. But I just kind of like the flow that this mechanical pencil is, like, kind of unlocked in me. And it just feels like, you know, I could just bring this with me. And as long as it you know, I easily bring, like, replacements, leads. They're so cheap as well. But I have, like, I think I have, like, 4 leads in here, which is plenty for, like, thousands of words, basically, if I was writing with it. I generally don't write with pencil. I write with fountain pens. I do have fountain pens. I don't use these for drawing because I don't want to wear them down by drawing. These are for writing. And I do have some white gel pens and stuff. And I have some rollerball pens, which these can be used for drawing. I have some rollerball pens. And these are refillable, just like the fountain pens. They use a piston. Chamber. But I can use different colored inks, which I do have. Water-based inks. Non-carbon, water-based Hongdian inks. So I have different colored inks in different fountain pens. So this is brown. This is coral, which is kind of like orange-red. This one broke. The chamber broke. So now it's basically a dip pen with a feeder. So basically I can dip it in, and I can actually write like several pages, I'm pretty sure, before it actually goes out. It's harder to clean than a dip pen because it has a feed, with, you know, all the fins that store the ink. It has a surprisingly large amount of ink can be stored without the chamber. The chamber just adds extra ink into it. Right now it has black ink. Then I have this one is purple. I really like this one. It's actually my favorite one to write with right now, is the purple ink. This one is blackish green. This one is pure black. This one is peacock blue. Because I had to replace that one. And this is just a white gel pen, which can be useful, especially if I need to, like, erase. But it only works on white paper. I like to draw whatever's on my mind. I'm trying to train art in order to express myself deeper. Here's some additional stuff I was working on. This was just me learning how to do a ballpoint. I really like ballpoint, and I got those like 10-in-1 colors. I also got Bic crystals, and I got some Bic color cues. This is just me testing out the different pens. You know, it's basically a scratch page. It was to basically get all the ballpoints to start working, because they were really frustrating to use, because they would like barely come out, and they had to be cleaned often. So I had to and especially since it was new, they were kind of like frozen a little bit. This is like, you know, a cleaner working with those different pen colors, and layering, optical layering with ballpoint. That is very crucial to the. This is me using a dip pen, which I have, you know, I don't have a ton of experience on. So, dip pen is very different than fountain pen. Because I mean, I write a lot with fountain pens, but dip pens, you have to be more deliberate, like it's a brush. I don't have a ton of experience with brushes. which I'm going to. I have some watercolor stuff, which we're gonna get into at some point, maybe even today. But today I'm just kind of like I don't know. I'm just kind of doodling. I'm just kind of I especially like doing this on stream because it's like sharing the moment with people, and I think that's like really important. It also keeps me a little bit more regulated because I'm able to like walk through a process in a semi-performative way with people present, or at least even if no one's here, there's a camera present and there is a potential audience. So it's like, it's a different mindset than working on my own. I will work a lot on my own using a lap desk, and I like drawing in bed. So my basic like tasks lately have been, I'm trying to saturate myself with art because it's going to get me through this really tough part of my life. I might even create my best work. Hopefully not the best work for my entire life. I want to always be, exploring and expanding. So hopefully it's not going to be the best work of my whole life. Like, come on, I have a long life to live. I'm going to have a long and healthy, happy life. The best I can, at least. I don't plan on giving up this time. I'm not giving up on my life. The pattern that I've been noticing about myself these past several years is I don't give up on my life anymore. I show up, and I keep showing up, for better or for worse. And art is a way to fully express that concept in a raw, immediate, visceral form. There is a lot of technical skill that is required to truly express myself the way I want to, and I'm not there yet. So I'm on a journey, and I hope that you guys join me for this journey. A journey to becoming a better artist. Oh yeah, let me start the poll in the other chat as well. Forgot to do it in both chats. Which medium is your favorite? It only gives me 4 options, so I had pencil, ballpoint, acrylic, or oils. I only have 4. I can't do both of those separate. And then watercolors. Start poll. So I'm kind of curious. Let me research this really quick. What material is acrylic paint, and what makes it different from oil paints and watercolor paints? Explain the differences in pigment slash material slash I love this song. Acrylic oil and watercolor paints all use similar pigments, but the binder and vehicle, what the pigment is mixed into, are different. And that's what really changes how they behave. Core idea, same pigments, different binders. Most modern paints can use the same dry pigments. For example, synthetic organics, earth colors, cadmiums, etc. What makes a paint acrylic, oil, or watercolor is mainly the binder, film forming material that glues pigment to the surface, the vehicle slash solvent, what makes it fluid in the tube slash pan and how it dries. So the big differences are acrylic is a plastic polymer binder with water as a vehicle. Oil is drying oil binder with an oil vehicle. Watercolor is a gum arabic, a tree sap binder, water vehicle. So acrylic paint, plastic polymer plus water. Material structure. Pigment is a fine solid particles, organic or inorganic, that give color and stay suspended. Some families of pigments are same families of pigments as other artist paints. Binder, acrylic polymer emulsion, tiny plastic polymer droplets in water. When water evaporates, these particles fuse into a continuous clear plastic film, trapping the pigment. Vehicle / solvent, water, which carries pigment and binder. It evaporates to dry the paint. What this means in practice: dries by water evaporation and polymer coalescence, so is fast drying and becomes water resistant once dry. You gotta go. Well, thanks for being here, Allie. The dried film is basically a flexible plastic layer with pigment embedded in it. You can thin and clean up with water because the acrylic is in water emulsion while wet, but after drying it behaves like plastic. Oh, so I can use water to thin it like watercolor. So acrylics I can kind of treat like watercolor if I want to thin it. I don't have to use like an oil-based solvent like in oil paints. So if I want to like make more translucent effects with oils, I have to use something like lampseed oil or something. Or something, like some kind of solvent, right? Or a medium. That's what I have to use a medium to create different kinds of thinning for oil paints. I don't have to do that with acrylic. I can just use water to thin it. Oil paint is drying oil plus oil. So material structure, pigment, again, fine colored solids, many is the same as those used in acrylics and watercolors. Binder, drying oil, commonly linseed, not lampseed. Linseed oil, sometimes walnut oil, safflower, or poppy, especially for pale colors. Vehicle / solvent, the binder itself is oil, and artists often add solvent like mineral spirits or turpentine for flow. But those are not the main binder. So the main binder is like linseed oil, or walnut oil, safflower, or poppy oil. Okay. Wait, chat is disabled for the... Did the stream restart? Wait, what happened? Stream finished? Wait, what happened? Did something happen with restream? Okay, let me check this out. How come only my landscape stream is live? What happened? Do I have to restart the stream? I think I need to restart the stream for YouTube. I'll be right back. Wait, what happened to my Twitch as well? Yeah, I think because my internet went out, I think I need to restart the stream.